Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Ballin' with Bash and Ted. This is Bashar of 49er Minded. I'm Ted of Ted Talks Ball. And we come to you every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific. We had some technical difficulties. Sorry. Usually I try and mute for that. Anyway, technical difficulties got us a little bit delayed, but here we are. Thanks for your patience. Bash, how are you doing on this fine, faithful Friday?
I'm good. Just was a little under the weather, so I'm here now, and ready to go, ready to talk some Niners. And it's pretty crazy that last time we talked, we were talking about the NFC Championship game, and now we won the NFC Championship game. Now we're in the Super Bowl, and at the end of the day, there was plenty of excitement when we won, and we were all hyped up. I was super happy, super excited. But at the end of the day, you can only be super happy for so long because we know there's one more game coming up, and that's the most important game of them all. But we're in it, and we're ready for it.
Absolutely. Let's kick things off here. We got a few folks here in the chat. Let's say hi to everyone. We got Rob D. Showed up a little bit early, saying "Bang Bang Niner Gang."
What's up,
Welcome, Rob D. We got Rashad Akil 49ers. Bang Bang Niner Gang. Super Bowl rang. Nice little tune. I like it. I got Grant Schick in the house, old college buddy of mine. Says Kittle is the GOAT. I love it. And Charles Gupta in the house says, hi, Grant. Says Kittle's the GOAT. Hi, Ted. Hi, Bashar. How's it going, gentlemen? Better now that you're here, Shardall. Can't wait for the Super Bowl. It's going to be off the chain. Got Brandon Ferrigno in the house. Forever Faithful podcast. Make sure you give him a like and subscribe, everybody. And he says, how's it going, Bashy? Oh, I haven't heard that one.
was it who said Bashy? Was that Shardall?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Term of endearment
there. Yeah, I know. It's a little funny. He's done it before.
See here. Rob says, goes in tight, Ted. There you go. And you're saying hi. Great. I caught you. Sorry. Yo. Guys, click the like and subscribe. Yeah, we're streaming to both channels. So if you're on TED Talks Ball, make sure you get over to 49er Minded. Give Bash a like and subscribe. Same thing. If you're on Bash's channel, come on over and give me a like and subscribe. I'm kind of doing that as we speak. If you're on a browser, open up 2 tabs. And that way we can get all those watch hours. It really helps us. The subscribers help to get us to those thresholds. But once you reach the thresholds, it's all about the view hours. So, Bash, tell me what you're thinking so far this week, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, how you're feeling.
What I'm thinking is that I guess the Niners had I don't know how intense these practices are this coming week. It almost seems like a semi-rest week, sort of. Mm-hmm. I know Kittle rested a bit, right? Kittle has some toe thing that he's going through. I know there was one day where the Warriors had a game. I forgot who was against, but I'm a Warriors fan. But the Niner players were there at the Warriors game courtside, and Kittle was there, and Eric Armstead was there, and so it was cool though, because even after the end of the Warrior game, it actually was against the Philadelphia 76ers on Tuesday. Warriors won 119 to 107. Trent Williams, like the Warriors hosted like a private gathering for the 49ers players, and wasn't the whole team, but it was a select amount of players. And when the players walked into this room, this like conference room, this party room or whatever that the Warriors had in their arena, and they had like a 49ers cake. Joe Lacob, the Warriors president, was present there. It was pretty cool. And he was just talking like, hey, we're really proud of you guys for winning the NFC Championship game ahead to the Super Bowl. He's like, go 49ers, blah, 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 blah. So it was just cool to see the support from my favorite basketball team, who's a big time basketball team, NBA team in the Bay Area that's won many championships, just to give them that kind of support for the 49ers. And they even had the Golden State Warrior jerseys lined up on each chair before the players walked in. And for example, for number 27, they had Jair Brown. It was a Golden State Warrior jersey. And they had one for Trent Williams and Kittle and Fred Warner and the whole gang. And it was really, really cool and really nice of Joe Lacob and the Warriors to do that for the 49ers.
Yeah, it was huge. It was fun to see everybody there. It was fun to see Claire with George. I noticed George was limping a little, and then I saw he missed practice yesterday and today with the toe. Kyle says it's just a toe. What do you think, Bash? Are you worried about his toe or?
I'm not worried because the game's going to be not this Sunday until not until it's the following Sunday, February 11th. So not too worried about it. And even if Kittle did have some messed up toe, he'd ball out and just shake it off and play his ass off for that one game. Who knows? Maybe he messed it up when he did that pancake block on Aiden Hutchinson. Who knows, man?
Yeah,
It was a really nice block, by the way.
Yeah, it was the pancake. I quote tweeted it and said the video of it. And I said, Casual said Kittle did nothing. And I said, me. And I played the video of him doing the pancake because that's something that George Kittle does that doesn't show up in the box score. So he is an incredible blocker.
Plenty of things that don't show in the box score.
There you go. Yeah, we got E. Kim in the house.
What's up, E. Kim?
Hey, Kim. We got Dub Club 30 in the house. I'm sure they like the Warriors Niners crossover. And then we also got 49er Dude in the house.
So 49er Dude.
There you go. Y'all going to be in Vegas?
I wish I wasn't going to be in Vegas, man. It'd be crazy
I wish
out there.
Too. Yeah, I mean, I have a 4-year-old and a 4-month-old, so I'll be lucky to get 3 hours uninterrupted just to watch the game, let alone be there. Plus, I'm kind of banned from Vegas for life anyway. Ran into some trouble last few times I went there.
You're banned from Vegas.
Sometimes what happens in Vegas doesn't always stay in Vegas.
You get in trouble with the mafia out there,
and some injuries and and mishaps. So no more Vegas for this cat. Not for a while anyway. We'll see.
I mean, there is a slight worry with me when it comes to Vegas. Not saying that bad things are going to happen, but just for the fact that we're going to be playing in Sin City or whatever, and I don't want the players to party too much, like the night before, and I don't know. I remember one time. Remember when we played the Raiders and we were lackadaisical that game?
New Year's Day of 2020. New Year's Day,
right? And I literally went back and I saw a video of like Jimmy Ward like partying with E40 or some rappers on stage, like literally like on New Year's Eve on stage, and it's like, dang, like I don't know, so, and I know we had a comeback game that game, and we didn't play our true Niner game that day. We we let the Raiders who were mediocre compared to us, beat us around in that game for a good portion, and we had to come back on them. So I don't want any of that where the players are out and partying, and I just kind of thinking about that, but we'll see, man. At the end of the day, we just got to play our game. It's gonna be a tough game. No Super Bowl is easy. I don't care who you're playing, and obviously we're facing the best quarterback, right?
Unless you're playing the Chargers or the Broncos, and then we did have a pretty easy time with folks.
I've seen some,
yeah. That was a long time ago.
Remember the Broncos played the Seahawks? I think they were just terrible in that Super Bowl. Like, geez, man. That'd be nice to have a Super Bowl like that. I'll take it.
Those Broncos had a crazy defense, though, back then, for sure. California Man 4000 in the house says Carl Weathers is dead. Passed away yesterday at age 70.
R.I.P. Carl Weathers.
Yeah, Rocky fame, Predator fame. Was it the Water Boy also? And then most recently,
he wasn't the Water Boy. You're right, Chubbs.
Most recently, the Mandalorian. Great little.
I heard he was in that, but I never caught that series.
Oh, you got to watch it if you like Star Wars.
I don't have the Disney Network. I've been wanting to watch that. Trust me.
Figure it out.
Star Wars guy. I'm a big Star Wars guy.
Well, they're great too because they're only like 20 or 30 minutes long, so they're not like super big commitment to get in and get a little chunk, a little episode going. I really liked it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're right. It was thank you, Randy. It was Happy Gilmore, not Waterboy. I got the character right. I said Chubbs. Yeah, he was like the golfing instructor for not Billy Matt. What's his name? I forgot what his name. Gilmore, Happy Gilmore. Yeah,
Happy Gilmore. That's right.
Basically the same character. Happy Gilmore, Billy Madison are the same character. And the Waterboy is sort of the same guy, but just a little different.
No doubt.
Back when Adam Sandler was good.
I was going to drive to Vegas with the boys, but I got to go to a wedding. Who puts their wedding on Super Bowl weekend? Just say you don't want any football fans to show up. Who would
plan it?
Hopefully it's on Saturday.
Well, I guarantee you, whoever planned the wedding, the couple including the guy. Both of them don't care about football, obviously.
Or they don't like the Niners. Like,
but then again, it is hard to plan.
Maybe they're Cardinals fans.
It could be.
They're like,
or maybe that was the only
date to watch anyway.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Club Club would know, not me.
Bad karma. Yeah, I wish, Shardall. Yeah. So RIP to Carl Weathers, his family. Prayers up for his family and friends. Absolutely. Raphael 562 in the house. Wouldn't be him if he didn't shortly after say
Raphael.
Like and subscribe. Thoughts on Carl Weathers? Yeah, I was saying because it came up in my last stream. I had a Chiefs fan on earlier behind enemy lines. I was saying that I liked Rocky 2 better than Rocky 1 with Apollo Creed. I thought it's one of those rare times when a sequel is better than the original movie because they almost always suck. There we go. Super Bowl 48, Broncos versus Seahawks. Yeah, when Peyton Manning got carried by their defense, essentially.
Yep.
Talk about a game manager. That's all he was at that point.
Oh, yeah, he was. He was really good when he first joined the Broncos, though.
Yeah.
His first year with the Broncos, and that was the year he was supposed to be with the 49ers, but some people say that Harbaugh some way somehow scared him off. I heard he told Peyton Manning back then that you won't be able to call your own plays or something like that.
Interesting.
And I think that was the kicker. And Harbaugh's a bit of a control freak, you know what I mean?
There you go.
Carcast is here. What's up, Carcast?
I love Carcast. Yo,
oh, he's in here.
We got Bebop in the house. Bebop Jones.
Bebop in the house.
Coming to us from Bethlehem, PA.
Yep.
Where they built the Golden Gate Bridge before they shipped it out here. So that's Carcast. Make sure you check out his channel, everybody.
You're getting some love for your visor, Ted.
Oh yeah, it's the close up. It says the Brock Purdy Niners.
Wow.
Yeah, I had an audience member
jersey?
get the Brock jersey for me.
I'm so envious of you.
So I was like, I need to make it my own personal investment in this so that people don't think I'm only wearing it because I was given, because it was given to me. I wanted people to know. And I admonished some people on the timeline. I saw some people talking about waiting until after the Super Bowl to buy their gear. I was like, shame on you, man. Like, we've only been 8 times and only 3 times in like the last 30-ish years. Like, don't wait to see if we win. Buy the stuff. Like, celebrate that we made it. I mean, I know it sucks to go to Super Bowl and lose. I agree. But I think showing the faith, I think it can help. I'm one of those people. My mom always used to say, like, power of positive thinking, like, visualize the parking spot and it will be there.
Hey, speaking of which, I mean, it helps to have this proactive type of thing, energy going around, positive energy. And the negative vibe will cause bad things to happen in this atmosphere. It just happens. I mean, if you guys saw the video of Kittle on the sidelines, did you see that where Kittle was speaking into existence about the comeback?
Yes. Yeah. He said, I can't wait to say that I thought they had us. Yeah.
So you guys had us in the first half, but we're here now, right? That's what he told Michael Strahan. And when he was telling Purdy that, he's like, I told them blah 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 blah. And when he was telling Purdy that, I was like, okay, whatever. Kittle's just saying that, but they literally had video of Kittle saying it over and over again on the sidelines. Well, in the first half, and that was just crazy. I was like, this guy, like as much as a Kittle fan as I am, because I've always been, love his play, got a really cool, funny personality. Like, I love Kittle even more. Like, Kittle's positive vibes and his attitude on the sidelines about the whole comeback thing. It's amazing. I'm speechless about how awesome it was and how much of an effect it had on the team, I think. And yeah, I just need to get him to hype up Chase Young. Actually, when he was mic'd up, he grabbed Chase Young for a second. I don't know if you saw the whole Kittle mic'd up thing. If you guys have a chance, you guys could watch it after. And Kittle grabs Chase Young, and like, I forgot what he said, but he just like grabs him. He tries to pump him up before the game and get him really, really pumped up. And I was like, that energy that Kittle's throwing onto Chase Young, That's the kind of energy that Chase Young needs to have before the kickoff. Like, I wish Chase Young was that hyped up before kickoffs as much as Kittle was, dude. And Kittle's not this huge, bulky, intimidating looking guy. I've seen him in real life. He's tall, but he's not like huge and bulky. But he just, like we mentioned how he fucking bulldozed and pancaked Aiden Hutchinson. His blocking is just almost like an offensive lineman. It's amazing, dude.
Yeah, no doubt about it. People are calling him Jog Young and things like that. He needs to get the chase back. He needs to have some intensity and chase down some plays from behind instead of just walking after he seems to be out of it, because you just never know.
That's so bad. That's so bad.
But I've been saying that about him, that he's just not. He's never really lived up to the hype that he had coming out number 2 overall, and
we've seen the flashes.
A little bit.
He's shown that he can play. He's shown that he can play.
Pass rusher. As far as the run defense, not so much.
He's shown he can play. He just needs to piece it all together, man.
Was correcting me. He said that was Super Bowl 50 when Peyton was a game manager. 48, he was league MVP, but LOB destroyed Denver. Yeah, LOB was.
I remember they whooped him in one of those Super Bowls, but when Peyton first joined that team, he was a beast, and then he got started.
Raphael ordered his Super Bowl jersey already. Good man.
Good job, Raphael.
Hey, Ted, get back to the Guy Fieri. Bring back the Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri. Guy Fieri here. Diners, driving the dives.
I like Guy. I like those places he goes to. I kind of like cheap and cheerful places.
I love his job. I'd love to have his job.
Yeah. And McCaffrey played high school ball out here at Lehigh Valley. Small world.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah. Too bad it ships after the Super Bowl. Shaking my head. That's all right. You locked it down.
I wonder if you could pay extra for expedited shipping. I'm not sure if they gave you that option.
I don't know.
It's hard to see, but I got like a week beer going, but it's not really showing through. But I'm gonna shave it anyways.
I shave about once a week, and so I grow it out. Usually, Bash gets to see my closest thing to a beard. Thing is if it gets any longer, you can kind of see it coming in here gray, and then it turns all gray.
Yeah, I don't have the full color that I used to. The full colors now, it's just all patchy colors and stuff like that. So it makes no sense for me to grow it out.
Yeah, and then it starts getting itchy, and then when I'm talking, I'm playing with it all the time. So
I always like to be clean shaved. That's how I am.
There you go. Sundays are for pancakes. I love it.
Okay, that explains it, Dan. Pull up Dan the Core Man's comment. I was wondering why he didn't see my post game show. We had a really nice, fun post game show the night that we beat the Lions. That was a whole bunch of fun. I thought Dan the Core Man was going to check out the video, be there in the live chat, and he said that he wasn't getting any live notifications. I noticed that, I don't know, I got over 1,000 subscribers. It's so weird how certain people don't get my live notifications. They don't know when I'm going live. Kind of sucks, but oh well.
There you go. Yeah, it's weird out there. Barry Baller in the house. Eric Price.
He was at the game.
Yeah, I saw his post. He had some,
and I was watching
cool shades on.
Funny because I saw that he was at the game, and I finished my post game show. When I finished my post game show, I went back and watched a bit of Larry Krueger's post game show. And I was watching. I was like, "Wait, how's Barry Baller able to get on Larry Krueger's post game show, even though he was at the game at Levi's?" So I think he must have gotten home. No, maybe in an hour and a half time or something. Then they started the show. I'm not sure how far they started the show after the game.
They've gotten a little bit better with traffic control around Levi's. That's for sure.
And he did a good job of getting home in time. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ryan from No Border Sports in the house saying, "What up, everyone?"
What up, Ryan?
What up, Ryan? Nice to see you. Saying hi to Baller. What up, Ryan? We got Dan, the Corn Man. Damn, I was wondering where you guys were. YouTube wasn't saying. Oh, there you go. That's crazy. And then I also usually post a preview in my community tab too. So if you're ever wondering,
yeah, I'll put the previews up too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're not on Twitter X, where I post up things a day of, I usually do the community tab there. I also do Insta and Facebook too. So if you follow me on those other platforms, you should be able to find it somewhere most days. Saying hi 562.
Red Jet's here.
Indeed, Red Jet Shell in the house. Great to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Red Jet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not in Vegas. So I don't know where the Vegas dynamic duo thing came up. The team's going to be in Vegas pretty soon. Hopefully, we win in Vegas. And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Raphael says it's taking so long to get the jersey because the owner is an Eagles fan. Laughing at you.
Oh, is that what it is?
Is that of Fanatics? Maybe. I know the Fanatics owner lives in outside in a Philly suburb.
Man,
Near because my friend lives across the street from the owner. Or, no, not the owner, but the CEO of Fanatics, and it's in a little town. It's like a little college town, not far from Philly, and they have like 5 colleges there, and I can't think of one of them right now, unfortunately. But I think if that is Fanatics and the owner lives outside of Philly, that might not be too far from the truth. Grow it out, show it off. Oh boy. Pause. Frank Culp in the house. Make sure you check out his channel and his wife Tony. They do great stuff.
what's up, bro?
Sardal says he likes playing with his beard. That's why I grow it really long.
Nicholas Akalatis is here from the locker room ramp.
There you go. Sheesh. Am I that far
from a Browns fan?
Oh my gosh, I'm so far behind.
Oh, this is crazy. How the 49ers plan on dealing with Taylor Swift? Yeah, she's a very integral part of their offense. I don't know.
I'm more worried about her buddy Bill Vinovich.
Everybody keeps tripping off this Bill Vinovich thing. I don't even want to think about the refs right now. It's like the last thing on my mind.
It was Super Bowl 54, and not only that, Bash, but a guy brought it up to me in the last show, and it was Darwin's Raven. I'm like, oh, guess who was our ref against the Ravens on Christmas Day? Bill Vinovich. And I've been talking all along about how it's unlucky that we got 3 balls picked off of tips when tip balls typically get intercepted at a 4% rate, and how one of them, the defender, came through Kittle's back to do it, which is DPI 6 days a week and twice on Sunday. And that was Bill Vinovich, who did not call DPI. So I'm not real happy with it. He also was the one who blew the call Saints against Rams that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. Probably the most famous uncalled.
I don't get how such a shitty referee gets the biggest game of the year. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, because he does what the NFL wants. That's why.
Oh my gosh.
He follows the script.
Fuck the script.
And Taylor is part of that script. I mean,
my friend told me just imagine the NFL wants to have the Super Bowl end with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce on the field giving each other this romantic kiss or whatever. And
absolutely, they
do.
Fucking
no, dude. I would not want to see that.
Absolutely, they do. I don't think they will, but
I knew of her as a singer for so long. I was like, okay, whatever. She's a famous singer. I never knew she was famous to the point where every time I turn the TV on, I have to see her face. I have to hear her name. What makes her so special for her to be talked about so damn much? I don't get it.
Well, she was kind of middle of the road and just kind of whatever. And then Kanye West, got up during the award ceremony and said, Taylor Swift doesn't deserve this award. It should go to Beyonce.
Oh, that was a long time ago. I remember.
And then everybody was like, oh, Kanye's a dick and Taylor, didn't deserve it. And her career has really kind of taken off ever since then, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it seemed like that to me as sort of a neutral observer. I know my wife really likes her. We went to her movie on our anniversary. We went to dinner and went to see the Taylor Swift.
She has a movie?
She has a movie. It was
definitely a movie I'm not watching.
It was from her SoFi tour stop, which was the last stop of her Eras tour. And the movie was Eras long. Let me tell you, it's freaking 3 hours long. I'll give you this advice. It's a good movie to go on a date night for sure. It was, good movie, good, especially when you can go on the reclining chairs. That's a great way to watch. As an old guy.
Reclining chairs is what I do. That's the movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch.
Those are pretty nice, especially because they're reserved and you have them deliver food DoorDash to your seat.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've been to that movie
there when you get there. It's definitely a nice experience. But I will say, if you do end up getting stuck going to see the movie on a date night, make sure out of the 3 hours, skip the last hour. You're not going to miss a damn thing in the last hour. So.
Raphael brought up something very interesting that I had no knowledge of.
Okay,
too.
further down. I'm like so far behind. That's ridiculous.
It's like the third to the last comment.
Yeah, Terry
Killens. He was a former linebacker on the 49ers back, I'd say 2002, 2001. I remember him. He was a backup linebacker. Yeah, he started a couple games due to injury. And he said he played for the 49ers, will be one of the referees for the Super Bowl. Okay, hopefully he'll check Vinovich. That's good to know. Hey, former Niner on the officiating crew. Hey, that's not bad.
Can't hurt. Um so as far as the T-Swizzle thing goes, I think there's something to it a little bit, but I don't know if it's enough. I think we have the advantage, and I think we'll win. I mean, I'm going to pick us to win despite all of that, but I don't know. There's something like $330 million poured into the NFL this year due to Taylor Swift. I'm sure they noticed.
Well, I mean, whatever, they can watch the games, but doesn't mean that the team's going to win because of her.
There you go. Ryan dropped a little MF bomb.
David Corona in the house.
Little Faithful Friday. David Corona in the house. What up? There you go. Time for 6. Take 6.
Oh, we got a Swiftie in the chat.
I don't want to know if you're a Swiftie.
We have one.
Who's a Swiftie?
Right below David Corona's comment.
Oh, there you go.
Right below David Corona's comment, you'll see it.
Oh, I see. He's calling himself out. I mean, I don't mind her music, but I'm definitely not a Swiftie. I'm not like avid or rabid about it.
I just hate the fact that they make it a point to show.
I mean, I definitely. Carcast is calling you out. He says Bash is probably.
Yeah, I know. He's just being funny.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind her before for sure. I enjoyed that movie, but now that this whole Chiefs connection, I definitely don't care for it because it worries me. It's just one more reason why they might favor the Chiefs. No, listen to T Swift. Super Bowl showed off she is an enemy. That's right. Cut it off. Just like no Eminem last week. No Swift for the next 2
and
weeks.
For the record, I was never ever a huge Eminem fan, but I don't mind his music, but I was never really into him. If anything, I was more of an Eminem fan, more so when he first came out, his first couple of years out or whatever.
Rob's correcting me. Says she was huge before that.
She was a country singer at one point, and then she turned pop.
Oh,
yeah, I remember that.
Dub Club says that was the funniest yay moment. It was before he went really cuckoo. Well, the guy's bipolar and he doesn't take meds, so I mean.
Let's not talk about Kanye. That would be never.
That's not a good combination. Like, so yeah, Charlotte, big fan. Oh, we got Jason, Captain Niner Massey, saying hello for Faithful. Hello, Faithful and Tongan. Welcome, Jason. I want to see Swift consoling. Yes, that's what I want to see. Absolutely. Like, ultimately, the people are going to be there watching the game, whether the Chiefs win or lose. Like, so who cares? Once you've made your money, it's going to be almost a year till the next football game. So I don't think you gotta. I don't know, but I worry about that. I worry about sending Andy Reid out on a high note because there's been some talk about Andy Reid maybe retiring after this season. And it kind of reminds me of the talk that was going on before the Ravens Super Bowl, where like, oh, Ray Lewis can go out on a high note if he wins.
Andy Reid needs to pass the torch is what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. During the last show, we were talking about how Spags never gets considered for head coaching roles, even though he's been a head coach. And I was like, maybe he's waiting for Andy to retire so he could take over there. Because people
wasn't he coaching the Rams as their head coach at one point?
I don't recall.
I remember one year he was a head coach, and this one I'll double check. I'll look it up.
Could be, but I don't remember that. I just remember Fisher, but maybe it was before that. Because obviously it was Fisher,
2009 to 2011, and they were asked when he was their head coach. I remember vividly.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Dan says, "How do we get all the shitty refs?"
Yeah, they hate us, man. That's what it is. The NFL hates us. Did you get what's his name's comment up on the screen? I'm not sure where those dude that I haven't seen in a minute. How about the Niners?
Vinovich is definitely a Swiftie, Nicholas. Stop it, Nick. Sorry, which one did I get? Oh wait, also how about right here? I didn't want to.
Oh, the Scramble was last night. I missed that. Our boy Frank Gore Jr. definitely raises draft stock. Hopefully not too much. I want us to get him. I missed that. I wanted to see that. Oh man, I got to go back and watch the highlights. And I know the Senior Bowl is coming up too, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, I think, and then Pro
yeah.
Bowl.
And I haven't like I've done mock drafts, a few of them actually. I've done about probably like 30 of them or something like that, maybe. And I just don't know what tackle is going to be available when we pick. I want us to go tackle, and I don't know if who's played out of all the guys I've been looking at that we could possibly get in terms of tackles, tackle help. Who's played in the Senior Bowl now? Which tackles are standing out in the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl? It's interesting. It'll be interesting for me to go back and check out the highlights and see who's doing good in those games.
I don't know a damn thing about it yet.
They're jacking up the hotel rooms, of course. They know.
Absolutely.
Knows,
and not just the hotel rooms, folks. The airline flights are crazy.
Oh, I heard.
Getting out of there. It's like LA and Vegas are like more expensive than flying halfway across the country anymore. It's so wild. It has nothing to do with distance. It's all economics.
Yeah,
supply and demand.
They gouge.
Mark says I'd take Jerry Rice's kid.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him, Brendan Rice Jr. Brendan Rice. I'd love to get him. I will not
Jason
stand
says I will not stand for all this Tay.
Okay.
The Swifties are rising up there within our ranks.
We need to end this Swifty talk though.
We're outnumbered.
I know we are. We're pissing off our viewers. What's up, Fazil? Fazil's up in the house. What's up, Fazil? He was at the NFC Championship game too.
Over again.
He was at the NFC Championship game. Saw his post on social media. Yeah. Really happy for anybody who went and experienced. I know Jesse Naylor was there. Can't think of any other content creators. Raj was there. If anybody else was there, I'd slip in my mind. Jess from East Coast Red and Gold Podcast, she was there.
There you go. I've been saying CMC MVP all season, so I'll ride with that horse.
CMC, how good of a game do you think CMC will have?
He's gonna be a monster. He's gonna. It's gonna be everything we always hoped for, because the Chiefs' run defense is sus.
That's what I'm hearing.
That's putting it lightly.
And I hear they're not so great in the short passing game either. So we'll see. So this is a stat that I pulled up during the season, and I pulled it up to mention it before the Green Bay Packers playoff game. So during the season, it was 10-1 when the 49ers. Anytime CMC had the ball, basically any game that CMC had 75 plus rushing yards, the 49ers were 10-1 in the regular season. Now so far they're 12-1, because in the past two games CMC has had over 75 plus yards in each game, and hopefully that trend continues. Hopefully we can get CMC had 98 yards this past game, and hopefully we can get him like in a 100-yard game. If we do, chances are that we do win. We come out on top. So.
There you go.
Wait, what was David Corona? What was this question? Was it relevant?
Oh, it was about supposedly there was like a construction worker at Allegiant who was a Chiefs fan, and he buried a Chiefs flag under the concrete under the foundation. Kind of like, wasn't there a story like that with us where somebody did something like that at Levi's with the Seahawks flag or something?
Not sure.
Some kind of Seahawks.
I remember there's a few people
at Levi's. But guess what, folks? We're 6-0. At Levi's in the playoffs, so I guess it was more like fertilizer for us. It took it a little while to grow, but it's blooming nicely, and Levi's is a hell of a home field advantage now.
Yeah,
in the playoffs,
and prior to this year, I mean, the biggest game at Levi's was the as far as playoff games go, was the Raheem Mostert game against the Green Bay Packers NFC Championship game, and it seems like the Green Bay this Green Bay game and the recent one and the Lions game surpassed that game because they were so eventful and back and forth and great comebacks, and especially this last one with the Ayuk catch, and just I don't know, they're coming up with names for that Ayuk catch. Did you catch that by any chance?
Oh yeah, I mean I did a poll of whether it should be the Ayuk fluke or the immaculate deflection.
Yeah.
But then somebody said no, it's the BA ricochet. I didn't do a
That's a good one.
I
liked it. The BA ricochet.
And there's like obviously like a bunch of ladybug ones.
Yeah,
too.
the ladybug. People like.
I just like Ayuk fluke and BA ricochet because they're specific to him, whereas immaculate deflection could be anybody. But it slaughtered Ayuk fluke in the poll. I should try it against BA.
Yeah, it's almost like when you call it a fluke, though. It kind of like discredit to what he did.
Yeah, because it's skill.
It sounds like something weak and lame. I mean, like, oh, that was just a fluke.
More shots fired Nick says John Vornus, the Vornado.
The
Loves
Vornus.
Eminem. Vornus.
What's up, John?
Ryan from Nobler Sports says I'm a fan of Taylor giving 50 million bonuses to people who worked on her tour. That's
really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, gotta like that. I mean, she made so much money. It's crazy. I mean, like the tickets were going for like I think the cheapest tickets were $2,500. Not like NFC Championship was $2,500 average. I think the cheap nosebleeds were $2,500 for the Taylor Swift tour. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was average too, but they were at least as expensive as the NFC Championship game for the Eras tour at Levi's, and I'm sure SoFi was just as expensive, if not more. All right, good. I'm kind of caught up going.
Yeah, Master of Any Crafts here is a good friend of mine.
So what's down here? All right.
Good to see you guys.
Master of Any Crafts. What's
up?
He's
over in Texas. He's originally from Southern California. Big Niner fan.
You too, Master. But we're doing better now that you're here, obviously. So thank you.
I know you and I always talk about Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk, and it's like some people think that Ayuk's the best receiver on the team, or Deebo's the best receiver on the team, and they're different. They're just such different. Yeah. They're similar in certain ways, but they're definitely much different in many ways too.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's the perfect yin and yang type of compliment.
Ayuk's the best receiver. Deebo's the best weapon. I just feel like when push comes to shove, I want the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hands or Deebo's hands. And Ayuk, he gets the bigger plays. He's the better route runner, better hands than Deebo. But, against a really tough defense like the Chiefs, I think Deebo's the one who we really got to count on. But we'll see. I love for Ayuk to prove me wrong. I love them both. I'm happy to hear that Ayuk is a priority to re-sign. Not that I'm surprised. I mean, we all kind of thought we typically do one big signing every offseason. A lot of us thought it would be Ayuk. There was a minute where people were talking about Chase Young, but I'm glad that that has.
Yeah, if we do get Chase Young, it's going to be for much cheaper than we initially anticipated. That's for sure. Otherwise, we just don't get him at all.
Kingsley Sumataya and Tyler Guyton might be there at 32.
We're talking about tackles.
Yeah. We also might want to package a few of our many picks. I think we have 11 picks, and try and move up a little too. Maybe try and get into the lower 20s or high teens even.
Unless there's somebody they really have their eye on and they're totally in love with. Otherwise, I'd be like, stay put, because there's gonna be some good talented guys that will be at the bottom of the first, that we don't necessarily have to move up for. So
McNiner says, "Shut up. I'm not ready for the offseason. We're still playing."
Who said that? Big that David.
He didn't say shut up. I put it in there. But I kind of agree with him a little. I just like
talking draft. I just think it's always fun.
Well, especially it's appropriate because, like you said, the Shrine game last night, Senior Bowl tomorrow.
Senior Bowl this week.
Obviously, we got people out there covering it. I know, like Steph and Breezy and Johnny Dells are out there covering. I saw a picture of them earlier this week out there in the stands. Speaking of Steph, got to bring up that John Lynch brought her up today. That's pretty awesome. He was talking about Bosa. He was talking about Bosa's Saturday speeches and how it's like must-see TV or whatever the equivalent is, must-listen-to speeches, and how great he is and how he doesn't use a lot of words, but they're really well-spoken. Reminded him of some coach. You have to forgive me. I don't have it on the top of my head who did them on a Wednesday, but Bosa does them on a Saturday. And then he said something like, "Oh, and Steph does such a great job with her impersonations. She's outstanding, and it's really cool that she got that recognition because she's obviously priceless with those." So
it's funny when Bosa, you never expect him to say anything that jumps out at you, or that you can quote or whatever. But he did say something funny about the Chiefs offensive lineman holding.
Yeah, they hold a lot. Yeah.
And then
and Lynch also said that he's really well read, that he reads a lot of books. And it's kind of funny because in my show earlier today, we were talking about there's been some talk about who the top 10 players of the Super Bowl are. And I had Chris Jones ahead of Fred, and somebody said, "Oh, well, Fred's much smarter than Chris Jones." I'm like, yeah, no, much more cerebral position, middle linebacker than defensive line. I mean, especially defensive ends, it's just like C quarterback, chase quarterback. And like how the S2 cognition test kind of said that, like the position that is least affected by a low S2 cognition score is defensive end. But ultimately, Bosa may be the exception to that because he's very well read. I said basically offensive linemen are usually the ones who are sort of the Mensa guys that are almost as smart as quarterbacks sometimes or smarter.
I was going to say Bosa also said the thing about on the field when they had the lady on the field after the game, and he made these sarcastic comments about Purdy being a game manager. I'm just saying, like, lately he's been saying like a lot of cool, funny comments, and you never really expect it from Bosa because again, he just sounds like yeah, blah. He always has that funny like mumbling type of voice or so, and then he admitted to smoking weed the other day, but he didn't say it was weed though in one of the pressers. I'm not sure if you caught that.
No, I didn't.
So they asked him if he was going to drink and celebrate. You go, "Oh, are you going to drink? Are you going to drink beer?" I forgot what they asked him exactly, but he's like, "No, maybe something else or something." And people like, "Oh, yeah, he's a weed smoker."
There you go. You get shocker,
which explains with the way he talks. I don't know.
It
but
does
when he's on the field,
bit.
he's very active, and but I didn't never see him get hyped up and yell, and like the way Kittle gets hyped up and screams and yells, and never seen both do that.
No, he's much more subtle. Peter Lee says Chris Jones is better than Aaron Donald. Yeah, I said that last year, and I think it's still
At
true
this point,
year.
yes. But I don't think he's better than Aaron Donald in his prime, though.
No,
I wouldn't go that far.
No. Just currently.
But I'd also say this about Bosa. I was going to say something really, really good about him. Damn, just slipped my mind. That sucks.
How about the Menor says, I'm slamming 10 mocks a day easy. It'll never be enough. Mock it up, baby.
Yep, do those mock drops.
You drop. David Corona says, what up, Donald? Everybody's just saying hi. I'm going to skip some of that.
Bosa was also had a good thing where he was Mike. You could see him talking to Brock Purdy in the locker room. How Bosa was just amazed with Brock Purdy's success, and he was telling Purdy, like, hey, we're proud of you, and how you were drafted. How do you have all this confidence being the last pick of the draft when I was the second pick of the draft or whatever? And then I lack confidence at times, and he was saying that
anxiety.
Stuff.
Yeah. He said, honestly, I can do better, which is awesome. Purdy did.
Yeah, Purdy said he could do better, which is awesome. And I believe he could. A lot of people thought he hit his ceiling his rookie year, which was kind of funny because I
didn't think his ceiling, but I thought he was close. I didn't think he was going to I didn't think he would ever be as good as he was this year. And if he got that good this year, then you have to think he could do better next year, especially with a full off season without rehabbing to really, learn the playbook and get even that much better at anticipation and everything. So yeah, I think he could get better.
I remember thinking about Bosa now. I was saying like you never really see Bosa get hyped up like Kittle or anything like that. But from what I heard, like in the locker room in the halftime speech before the comeback, like Bosa had a lot of words for the team. So I wish we could have heard what he said and seen a video of it. But that's very interesting that Bosa was the one to get to rally the troops at halftime.
Yeah, no doubt. KC for Prez in the house. I guess, is this a Chiefs fan? I'm not sure.
Might be, or it could be just his initials.
Says woo and says hola. Well, welcome either way. Chiefs fans are welcome. Randy says O-line is there later. So I guess we could. O-line is, but is like, your next Trent Williams there later?
No, it wouldn't be next. There's quality guys. There's put it this way. There's guys that should be able to replace McKivitz possibly available at the end of the first round. I don't. Maybe there's not a Trent Williams in this draft. For all I know, Trent Williams is arguably one of the better players in the league. So it's just, well, who knows what we get.
Randy says cornerback. We definitely do need a nickel corner so that we can stop moving Lenore in and stop bringing Ambry in the game, ideally. But Randy probably wants to have Isaiah Oliver in. Well, no, if Isaiah Oliver's in, then Lenore's on the boundary. Then you don't need a corner. Anyway, He likes Isaiah Oliver. I like Ambry Thomas. I mean, I don't love Ambry Thomas, but I like him way better than Isaiah Oliver. So I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. I just hope we don't see Isaiah Oliver again. It was interesting. I noticed in the 49ers depth chart for the Super Bowl that they released, there were two really notable things I noticed in there. One was they had Isaiah Oliver listed at nickel, and I'm really hoping that it's Lenore at nickel, and then Lenore in the base package at boundary where you don't have a nickel, and then a nickel, Lenore slide over to nickel, and Ambry in there as usual. But Ambry did hurt his ankle in the NFC Championship game, and I don't know. Well, I guess he's not on the injury list. Today it was just Kittle toe and Armstead foot, which is scary to see his foot come back on there. But hopefully it's just like, a reason to let him have a day off is what I'm hoping, rather than
Probably.
plantar fasciitis being back. But what do you think about the 49ers have to win this game?
Get to Mahomes.
Yeah, get to Mahomes, stop Pacheco.
Yeah, the run defense has to be a lot better.
Run the ball, have good short passing, and you got to throw some deep to keep him honest, to keep
target Kittle a whole lot more. We barely targeted Kittle the last game.
More Brock Purdy runs to make them spy him. As soon as you spy him, that's one more set of eyes that's not on our weapons. So all those things.
And Spags, from what I heard, does like to blitz a lot, which might be a good thing, assuming that Purdy just has a little bit of time to get through his progressions.
Because then you got a hot read on wherever the blitz.
Kittle's. I mean, Purdy's really nice at shut. He shined a lot against the blitz this year. So hopefully, that continues in the Super Bowl. We'll see.
There you go. Peter says, I bet during the halftime show, cameras will be panning to Swift while Usher performs.
No more.
I don't think so. I think it's just going to be when something happens with Kelsey on the field. For me, one of the big X factors of the game is MVS. Marquez
Valdez-Scantling.
Yes, because early in the season, he dropped a lot of passes, and in the last 2 games, he's had kind of game-sealing big catches against both the Bills and the Ravens to kind of put those games out of reach. So if he keeps catching, that could be trouble for us. If he starts dropping again, that could be really good news. I think that's one of the things that'll set us apart. Let's see. I'll scoot down to the bottom and start working my way up again. I don't know how else to catch Ursher. Right. Spags going to disguise that's definitely trouble. Will we need to spy on Mahomes? Absolutely. I think it'll be Dre Greenlaw. What do you think, Bash?
The spy Mahomes. I just hope he doesn't get too run happy where he gets these huge lanes and starts running over. So that'll drive me nuts. But then again, we've been pretty good at not over rushing the run lanes lately, anyways. So maybe it'll play into our factor and play into our hands. We'll see. I mean, I just need Javon Hargrave to be Javon Hargrave. They Chase Young to be the guy who told the media that, hey, it's going to be a race to the quarterback. And the first 3 or 4 games when Chase Young and Bosa were playing, it was nice. It was a lot of fun. So that'd be nice. Randy Gregory needs to step up. We need all these guys as a collective unit to just wake the hell up. And if we have to give Chase Young some damn smelling salts, do so. Please do so. Something to excite his ass to get ready for this game. I mean, I don't know what else can make you more excited than the damn Super Bowl. There was a question in the chat from Shardal saying, do you watch hockey? I do not. No. I've only watched maybe on TV maybe 3 or 4 Sharks games in my life. I went to one Sharks game once, and that was about it.
I used to watch the Sharks quite a bit, and they just kept losing the playoffs. And then they got up 3-0 on the LA Kings, and the Kings came back and won 4-3. First time it had ever happened, I think, and that was the last time I could take them seriously in the playoffs. I just had to stop spending time watching them. So not really. Don't watch much hockey anymore. One stat that people regarding the Chiefs is they're always in top 1 to 2 in sacks. The issue in the Super Bowl is that Kyle is relying on Jimmy instead of running the ball. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs stacked the box, and Kyle just said, I can't run, even though Mostert had done really well against stacked boxes all season, and the Chiefs defense wasn't really considered to be a top 10 D even. So hopefully we don't get scared away from running the ball if Spags loads the box. And if on our end on defense, it's really hard for us to load the box against Mahomes because he can beat you deep. I mean, he hasn't done a lot of it this season, but he can at any time, and he can also run the ball well, which again will make one of our guys spy him, I think, and that'll be one less set of eyes on their weapons. So there's kind of 2 guys he takes out of the defense, a safety back, and one of the guys that's left in the box has to spy.
We had success running with Debo that game, and we completely stopped doing it. Debo had 53 rushing yards off of 3 carries. And, and it sucks because it's crazy because Mostert only touched the ball 12 damn times on 12 freaking runs. And the game before, Mostert had the ball multiple times, and, he broke a record. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kyle's learned his lesson. Now he has CMC, and CMC gets the ball a substantial amount of times, and it'd be nice to see more of Mitchell. It was cool to see Mitchell get that touchdown, right?
Yeah,
And it's funny because people will think like, oh, maybe he doesn't trust Mitchell, maybe he doesn't trust Mitchell, because that's why you barely see him, and you see CMC all the time. But then at the very, very end of the game, we're instead of doing kneel downs, we're running the ball to milk the clock. And who is it getting the ball? It's Mitchell out of it.
well, that's because CMC hurt his neck when he landed on his head.
That was really bad when he landed on his head too. That looks scary.
Yeah, and it was like my fourth Lions dirty play of the game. That one maybe not quite as obvious, not like where I would like laugh at anybody who argued me the opposite. Whereas the first three were just rock solid, like the CJ Gardner-Johnson cheap shot on Debo's
that was
bad
so
shoulder.
cheap on Debo.
That was so bad.
I don't know how the refs missed that.
The James Houston, remember he was my X factor for them, maybe being the other edge across from Hutch.
Mm-hmm.
He went late on Purdy when he was on the ground and helmet to helmet. And then obviously the really obvious one was on Purdy's longest run. He was diving forward and the guy was running step for step with him, tagged him. So he was down. And here comes big old number 93. He jumps right on top of like a D tackle, jumps right on top of him. And then Brian Branch, the nickel corner, jumps up and kicks him with his cleats right on the kneecap as he's flying over and tore Purdy's sock. That's why Purdy's sock was tore up at the end of the game, because somebody cleated him.
I don't know how you saw this. I didn't notice that. I've seen that play.
It was people replayed the I didn't notice it during the game. I noticed I noticed the first two during the game, and I noticed, obviously CMC landing on his head. And with that one, the defender, like, he was smart. He basically, when he was tackling Purdy, because Purdy jumped up in the air, he didn't like take him and drive him into the turf. But what he did was he like tilted him so that like, unless CMC let go of the ball, his head was going to hit first. And so it was kind of a crafty, dirty play, if you ask me, where he knew it was going to land. Yeah. Anyway, so but the Brian Branch, a lot of people complained about it on the timeline. And so I saw it there. I quite honestly did not notice. I mean, I kind of noticed it. I noticed that Feliciano went up one time and kind of like grabbed him when guys were starting to like cheap him after a play. I think it was a different play though when Feliciano jumped in. But I love to see O linemen protecting their QB that way when a play is dead and defenders are like teeing off on him. Got Eric Wallace in the house.
What's up, Eric? Remember the Super Bowl when Jimmy G? Forgot what play. Forgot what point in time the game it was, but I just remember some guy, some D lineman got on Jimmy's face and did something to his helmet or something like that, and then Jimmy G was grabbing his helmet and looked like it could have been a concussion, and it should have totally been a penalty. The way quarterbacks get protected in the league, it's an easy flag, but for some reason we didn't get the call, and hopefully we get some call. Hopefully that stuff doesn't happen where you get cheap shots on our quarterback, but if anything does happen like that, we definitely need some flags thrown. And do you think Purdy needs to slide at all? Because I noticed on those runs he wasn't sliding. Do you think he needs to slide?
I mean, it would be smart, right? You're definitely going to get flags thrown if people do that kind of
exactly.
Stuff
and then if people are hitting him anyways, right?
When you go head first, you kind of invite that kind of contact without.
And then and it gives us a chance to get penalties and advance down the field. So,
no doubt. Randy says, what if we shock the world and get a really good wide receiver?
We're talking about the draft.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it to go at the end of the first round.
I totally don't think it is when you got Debo, you got Ayuk, and I have a feeling we're going to try and re-sign Jennings too, just because he's really proved his worth. And it's just like whatever a really great receiver is in college, like I don't think you have any clue how they'll be as a blocker in the NFL. And it's so key to our guys, our receivers in this scheme. I think it's really hard to forecast who will make that transition from college, not just to the NFL, but to the 49ers. I think is a really unique situation due to Kyle's system. Peter Lee says Joe Montana Bowl 2.0.
Because Montana once played for Kansas City for 2 years.
Oh, yeah. Like how he said before the last one, I picked my team 35-28, and they had like the jersey that was split in two.
He picked the Chiefs last time, I believe, right?
I thought he just said my team, and it was like a jersey that was half Niner, half Chiefs. So he kind of like he kind of like hedged. I thought, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me what your thoughts are, folks. Randy, my thought is, well, Jose, because no way they let BA walk. Yeah, no, we're definitely not going to let BA walk.
There are, and to answer the thing about Randy, there's a lot of good wide receivers in this draft. None will really have to get desperate and draft one in the first round, though. Just for the simple fact that tackle is a way bigger priority, and it's not. It's a pretty deep wide receiver draft, in my opinion. So you don't necessarily have to go and splurge in the first round to get one.
There you go. Randy says man-to-man coverage on. He likes to say Kels instead of Kelsey.
Well, actually, the original way to pronounce the last name is Kels. There was a podcast with the two Kelsey brothers and their father, and they're talking with their father, and they're like, "Oh, Dad, why did you change it to Kelsey? It's always been It's been Kels for all these years." And yeah, well, I just made it easier because everybody kept saying Kelsey, even though it's Kels, and I didn't want to correct them, so I just said, "Okay, fine. Our last name is going to be Kelsey." So it's kind of funny. It's spelled Kel. It has the E on the end, but it's actually supposed to be Kels. So interesting.
There you go. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Jason says Kelsey when he says their name, but
yeah, they all say Kelsey, but they were talking about how the original way is Kelsey. They're with their dad on the podcast.
Yeah, and their dad said that people say both ways. They don't care. I get it, but I just say Kelsey. But hey, you know what, Randy? If you say Kels, that's fine. I'll honor you. If you type it that way, I'll say it that way. I'll say that. Dan was saying he's losing his mind. They're yelling at the TV for flags and they're holding, especially on the 3rd and 15 throw. Yeah, jet chip wasp. I was also yelling when Jimmy got crown of the helmet into his grill. When Ben Neiman blitzed him. And there were a couple other times where Bosa got held beyond 3rd and 15 jet chip wasp. Randy says hockey and soccer are pretty boring. I do like World Cup soccer just because it's so international and it's one of the biggest sports.
I like soccer. Soccer is way more exciting than people think.
Yeah, it's cool as long as you know what you're watching. Mahomes is a crybaby whenever he falls back with his hands in the air, is expecting a penalty flag from the rest.
Well, he does that Kobe Bryant.
Stuff, it's a little frustrating. Get ready for it though.
Purdy needs to start doing that, man. We need to do it. They do
snaps if Young and Gregory keep sleepwalking.
Yeah, Bill wasn't active in the last game. I don't think, was he?
You know how we are with rookies. I don't know. I wouldn't expect to see a lot of them.
The very first game we played him, he had a sack.
We're definitely missing Cleveland Farrell though, for sure.
I know. Like remember they were talking about it, like how Kyle Shanahan thought he'd be back in a couple of weeks, and everybody thought like it wasn't a serious injury. Then all of a sudden he gets a surgery out of nowhere. Like, what the hell, dude?
IR. Yeah.
That's so irritating, man.
Mahomes is a flopper. Cap goes up. Yeah, cap goes up every year. I think this year, though, it does go up particularly a lot, like from 225 to like 250 or something like that, or 255. Or maybe, I don't know, that's what it's projected. But you don't really know until I think a few months after the season when they actually announce what the revenue for the season was and then therefore what the cap is for next year. California man, I want to see how Ricky Beal does. Oh, give him a shot. Develop and learn. Yeah,
he had a sack in one of the games. I think it was the Commanders game. Was it the Commanders game? One of those games he played, he had a sack.
Bryant says CMC did get hurt, but he's not on the injury report, so that's good news. That headshot on Purdy made me so mad they didn't call that. Would have called if it was on. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of the way they treated Jimmy Garoppolo, where he didn't get many roughing calls, even though there was plenty of times he was roughed. They were not protecting Purdy at all in that game, and that was frustrating for sure. Late hit out of bounds, I guess, on CMC. Interesting. Brendan Rice looks good for a round 2-3. Good returner too. That'd be good. Save some money on Ray.
We could do Brendan Rice out before. I don't know about round 2, but yeah.
Jess from East Coast Red and Gold says Kittle.
She had Kittle's on dad on the show.
Kelsey and Kittley. Let's go.
She had Kittle's dad and his sister on the show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I definitely see the 49ers offensive tackle in the first round of 2024. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it since offseason that pick is for a tackle, whether it was in the 2024 draft or 2023 free agency. Not free agency, but before the trade deadline. I figured that's where that pick was going to be used, but we'll see. It's funny. I definitely never gave up hope in the Lions game, but there was a time where I was like, okay, I still have hope based off the year and based off the Green Bay game, but there's been no evidence that we can come back in this game. So I did make a comment during the game where I said, well, maybe this will get Kyle to invest in offensive line because clearly it's worked for the Detroit Lions, because
and Green Bay. Green Bay has a good old line too.
Yeah, Green Bay has a very good O-line. In fact, I think both those teams have better O-lines than the Chiefs, especially if Tooney doesn't play, because then they're really down to just sort of like Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith as outstanding
who's
linemen.
Tooney's
left guard. Creed
center. He might be out.
Yeah, he has a torn pec, so he's like almost for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And they're
he might have been ruled out today. The DG, the guy I had on today, was saying like sounded like maybe he got ruled out, or that's what they're saying today. I don't know. We'll see. How about the Niners? A good returner, absolutely. Hockey is not boring. No, it's not bad. And especially in person, hockey's just terrible on the TV because it's hard to see the puck. Grant says soccer because that's how Grant and I met at Santa Clara University. He was on the Santa Clara soccer team.
There you go.
And they were like every year they're in the national championship. And
was that when Brent Jones went there?
No, we were after Brent Jones. We were there. We were there for I don't know if Grant was still there in '95.
Who was that basketball player? The Steve Nash.
Nash, yeah, I saw Nash in '94 and '95 when we beat Arizona in the tourney. It was the first time a 15 seed had ever beat a number 2 seed in the NC2A tournament. So that was huge. They were burning couches and partying like crazy. Burning couches in the streets of Santa Clara. It was man.
Oh man, I've never seen Santa Clara get rowdy. That's crazy.
It was so rowdy. It was crazy. And the funny thing about the soccer team, so our football team, they cut it while we were there. And the idea was like, oh, we'll put the money into soccer and basketball. And like soccer and basketball went downhill right after that, like men's soccer, men's basketball. But men's soccer was so good there for about 3-4 years when Grant played. And like, I remember one year they went to the national championship and it ended in a tie. And there's this whole thing and Santa Clara was like, oh, well, we want to put in penalty kicks. No more of this tie mess, And so then they went again and they went to penalty kicks and we lost in penalty kicks. We're like, oh, maybe tie is not so bad. But we never won a national championship while we were there, unfortunately, but really outstanding team. Great guys. I made a lot of great friendships, but especially with Grant, he was one of the groomsmen in my wedding. So,
cool.
Yeah. What else? Donald Johnson says Bosun gets held more than that is a great one. I love that, especially because we have an infant. One of my sons is 4. He made a cameo today on my other show.
Okay,
it's 4 months.
We're gonna attack this question. Go ahead, read it.
Does Purdy have the it factor like Montana, MJ, Kobe, Steph? TBD. I mean, I think we kind of saw it in the Lions game.
But I remember earlier in the season you were saying he doesn't have the clutch gene. He doesn't have the clutch gene.
Yeah, because we hadn't seen it.
I know, but I think it's coming alive though.
I said I want to see some comeback wins, and now we got 2. And
the Raiders won 2. The Raiders won.
And to be fair to Brock, he did lead a game-winning drive against
the Browns,
Cleveland Browns, and Moody just missed the field goal. So
I
give him 3 comebacks, 2 wins and a missed field goal. It wasn't all him. CMC has been huge in all of it, of course. But yeah, I mean, we're getting there. Like, people said I was a hater during the offseason. I said, I just hate the hyperbole. I hate comparing to Montana, comparing to Steve Young, comparing to Brady, comparing to Mahomes. I still don't like comparing them to Mahomes, but like the Montana one starting to look close. The one I really like, I mean, I hear Breeze some, but the one I like the best, honestly, is one I saw again today. Kurt Warner, right? Great weapons, greatest show on turf. Falk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. Like there's some parallels there. Like Purdy picked 262, Kurt Warner undrafted. Not like neither one were like physically gifted in really much any of a way, but great decision makers, got the ball out on time. And now that Purdy's thrown good deep balls, I can see that kind of comparison a little bit more. So I really like that one for now. But yeah, the more Purdy improves, the less it's hyperbole. So you can't just take my statements of, over the summer out of context, because what I said was true based on 2022, and especially based on camp where Purdy struggled.
So it's funny because you went to every practice.
All 9 open.
The only practice I went to was the last one. And he did way better than Trey Lance in that practice. Trey Lance didn't play well
there
at
was
all.
A couple where he did better than Trey Lance, but like Lance was the best like 3 or 4 of the practices, and Lance was never worse than second. Like even when you went, he was better than Darnold, right?
I don't remember Darnold in the practice. I saw him there, but I don't remember him doing
dink and dunk. He didn't throw any big passes in all of camp, and that's why I couldn't figure out how. Anyway, Anyway, I don't want to go too
the
much.
Games are what matters more so than the camp, though. I mean, but whatever.
No, absolutely. And Purdy had earned his right to be the starting quarterback. I just said I would like to see a fair and open competition between Trey Lance. I'd like to see Trey Lance with CMC because we never saw that. But clearly, Kyle knew what he was doing, and it showed this season, especially as Purdy improved, as he improved his deep throws and his deep runs. You could see why he was dead set on that. And so I was wrong. So for what it's worth. Next man up says Gregory is not a rookie. Do you mean Randy Gregory? Says I like Ray. We need a better return game. Anthony Gould is a fast receiver. Good transfer. All right. Randy, imagine the Niners get a better DE than Young in free agency.
Could happen. You never know.
We tried for Montez Sweat.
Yeah, I guess that'd have been nice if they got Montez Sweat instead. Looking back,
that was a good one for the Bears.
I was excited about the Chase Young thing because him and Bosa were teammates, and I liked his raw ability and all that. But he needs to piece it together. And I mean, if we could, I just need one damn good game out of him in the Super Bowl. That's all I'm asking for now. I can care less about the long term. Just get the Super Bowl over with and let's win this thing.
No doubt. So looks like we're caught up mostly. Let me just get Edgar Scully real quick. He says, hi, Niner bros and channels. No doubts for Niners mindly prepared than KC, including for the infighting combat. It's going to be wild, no doubt about it. Oh, and then Grant says he ran into Nash in 97 Arizona while grad school. Yeah, at I guess at Thunderbird. So International School of Business. What else? I guess, did you have a prediction? We don't need to do on this week.
I don't want to do the predictions this week. We'll do it next week.
We can do it next week. Yeah. No need to jump in on that. Well, let's just say thanks to everybody who stopped by today.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.
We'll have another more in-depth discussion next week. We'll talk a little bit less about hockey and soccer.
And Taylor Swift.
More. and Taylor Swift. Or hopefully we'll see. And I'll just say peace and go Niners.
Yeah. All right. And make sure to catch live at 7:00 on my channel tonight with Raj and Aaron. Peace. Bang, bang, Niner gang.